Hey everybody, good morning. So we live in some very interesting times. I mean, it's a blessed time. It is a time like in our reflection and no other time that I know of in history. And I'm going to share a dream that I missed something, guys, and you have to follow me. I missed something that Abba showed me in a dream years ago. And I was so focused on what was happening around me, I didn't see what one of the key things in this dream. I'm going to share that, going to review that. And I just want to remind everyone, you know, I've talked about having a living, breathing relationship with the Father in heaven and with our Messiah. Because none of us are worthy. None of us are in our flesh are going to do anything that, you know, outside following His ways. Outside of that, there's nothing that we can do to approach the throne of God. We have to go through our Messiah. And we have to listen to Him. And don't wander in these days. It's going to be, you know, I heard a brother reading the passage about, you know, a lot of people will be offended and many will fall away. And don't wander in these days. No more important a time in your life to stay the course, to not wander. You know, I have a lot to cover. I've been waiting really patiently on these messages. And it's tough because in between message to message, I'm talking the spiritual warfare is to a point now where most nights I don't sleep very good because I'm in constant, you know, prayer or spiritual warfare. I mean, that is the basics of it. And I wonder, you know, I look at the days we're in, and I have to go to the scriptures. You know, the Father in heaven led me to Revelation 20 so more times than I could even count. To those passages, to that scripture in Revelation 20. And I felt like I was trying to put that together. You know, and I've covered it on my channel, but some things in there that I'm trying to add up. Because there is going to be the deception that will come upon people. I believe it's already here because it's a belief. And I believe that the dragon is going to work through a country that you would least expect. And it's not America. America is just the strong arm of the headquarters of the New World Order. It's going to blow your mind. And when I saw it and started researching it, I kind of got dismayed a little bit, you know, based on what I was shown. And things, just remember, let no man deceive you. Take everything I tell you up in the spirit. Take it up in prayer. Because I know I have before I even begin to make a message. You know, I look at the dream I'm going to cover. It touched on the medical tyranny. And I had this dream so many years ago, way before the medical tyranny happened. And in the dream, I was shown something. It was symbol, and it was also the imprint of a hand. In this dream, I was underground in this like bunker, this underground base in this dream, and I was helping people get out of there. And this big black dragon that was like oil, but it was smoky and moved like a serpent was coming after the people. And I got in between the dragon and the people were in medical gowns. Okay, there were young girls and boys, women, no older men, no older women, all fairly young, like mid-20s to younger, to like 8 years old. And eventually I helped them get through this door. And what I missed in the dream, there was a panel on the door that we had to open to escape. And this man came up to me in the dream, and in the spirit, I said, can you get this open? He said, I can. I said, make it so. And I mean, he started working on this thing. But when I looked at the panel, there was a handprint. And I missed it. And I saw it, but I didn't put two and two together until now. I mean, we're talking years and years later. Patience and praying and discernment. And the handprint on this door was not a human handprint. I'm just going to be honest. And it either had 4 digits or 6, but it was not 5. And I'm still praying, and and it looked different. It was shaped different. And on this door panel had all this bizarre writing. I mean, like ancient. It looked wicked. All right. And the walls of this place underground looked wet, but they were not wet. They were like an organic metal. I can't say it any better than that. But the panel in the hand was very key. Because I believe that the medical tyranny was headed up by the evil spirits that came out of the mouth, of the dragon, the false prophet. I believe that whole thing was organized them, and that they were set out on the earth to deceive the kings and the great men of the earth. And I believe that was part of it. And I don't believe they know any better. But that still won't save them, because they worked wickedness on the whole earth. And so they'll be judged accordingly. But I believe that those evil spirits, and some people say they look like frogs. They try to give them like a physical description. But that handprint on that panel was the hand of one of these things. And I missed it, guys. And I even mentioned it in the first time I covered the stream on my channel. I mentioned the panel and a hand thing and the writing. And I didn't put it together. It was right there. And I've seen that panel and that handprint in my mind so many times since when I think of that dream. But it was the medical tyranny, and it tied directly into a deception. I mean, I had someone message me 2 days ago about their wife didn't even try to get a religious exemption. And I told him, I said, if there's with the next go round, she has to fight for the religious exemption. She has to. We have to. It's a test of faith. And it was definitely there's a lot more behind the scenes, I believe, that we don't even have knowledge of. But that was the dream, and that handprint, I missed it. But I wanted to go back over it because, have no doubt, these evil spirits are on the earth, and men know it not. Now, I believe that more and more are starting to realize that without the covering of the Lamb, the blood of the Lamb, all bets are off. Without faith in Him, He is the only truth in all of creation. And, I see stories of people that have had sleep paralysis. And I see doctors and psychiatrists try to write it off and, oh, it's a nervous system thing. No, it's not. That is a complete lie. You're blind. That is what the scriptures call a night terror. And these same little evil spirits people see in the room with them when they're having sleep paralysis. And I've had it happen to me years ago. Years ago, it terrified me. And I had it when I was younger too, because there was a family member I had that was more into the New Age stuff, familiar spirits, and I didn't know. I was innocent. I was a little child, but the Lord protected me. But when I was an adult one night, it happened, and I called on Jesus, and I'm telling you, these things, one of them screamed in pain, and I heard it scream when I sat up, and it just like imploded on itself, like, you know, like kinetic energy, you know, and it disappeared. And I'll never forget that night. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the peace that I felt when I called on Jesus. And there's a battle over language right now on the face of the earth too. It is a spiritual battle over language and names and everything. And look, I have proof, without a doubt, that name is powerful, 100%. And people argue, and I call the Father Yahuah, you know, the Spirit, the Most High Spirit. But these evil spirits don't like that name. And in the dream, when I saw that panel, I should have known better. I should have been able to say, okay, but I didn't have the scriptures to back it up yet. Now I do. Night terrors, you know, the Pharmakeia, deceiving the kings of the earth and the great men, deceiving the whole earth with Pharmakeia. And they're doing it through the power of these evil spirits, which is the power of the dragon and Satan, working wonders and lying wonders. And as I'm sharing this message right now, you know, there's a lot of spiritual warfare. I've been a little off the past couple of days. I haven't felt like myself at all. And again, spiritual warfare, all of it. But the medical tyranny deception, there's going to be something even worse, you know, even more convincing. But it's still a lie. Even though it's convincing, it is still a lie. Because there is no truth in these wicked ones. And if you research where they actually came up with the main protagonist of the medical tyranny, where they designed it and made it first, it's in a little country in the Middle East. And I believe that same country is going to be heading up the New World Order, because something is off. Something is off. And every time I was led to research, I didn't want to look because of what I was finding about the deception and how so many have already